Hey, Simon.
Hi, Tanush.
Hey, how are you doing, sir?
Good, I'm good.
How things? Feels like we've not spoken in a long time.
Yeah.
Sorry, just 1 second. Good. Yeah. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. No complaints. No complaints.
Has your new role started? The one with the Dutch company, was it, or Belgian?
No. He's back in Luxembourg, but he went back to Luxembourg
yes.
for 2 weeks.
Okay.
When he came back, he had to isolate, and he got visited by the police.
Okay.
There was some problem with his isolation, but it wasn't his fault. So he's been told the police are going to visit him again the next sort of week or so, just to make sure he's still complying. But no, we're going to have. We were supposed to have a chat today, but that didn't happen. So it's either be maybe tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
Hopefully. So.
Good.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Aditi. Hey, Linda. Hi. How are you guys doing?
Hi, Tanush.
Hey, buddy.
Hey. How are you doing?
And how are you?
Hey, Sumit.
Hi, Sumit.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hey. Hi. Good. So our Toastmaster is here and one of the speakers is here. I'm just quickly gonna load up the agenda. And Simon, you are a half master tonight.
Yeah.
Cool. And Linda, you're the table topics. Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm not sure how many, looking at the agenda, we have all the old timers. Hey, Jasmeet, hi.
How are you guys? Doing good?
We're good.
Good to see you all.
Likewise. What's that? Is there dinner preparation going on? What's in your hand?
Cleaning.
So we already done with the dinner today.
Okay.
Had an early dinner.
Okay. That's always helpful.
Yeah.
I always find that Toastmaster meetings kind of are sandwiched, at a time where you think that, okay, is it the right time to have dinner now? Of course, by English standards, you should be done by that time. But yeah.
I mean, to be honest, like after 9:30 or something, it becomes a bit late. Though,
Yeah,
like when
true.
we were coming to the meeting, sometimes we used to eat afterward, but it's not very healthy.
True. Hi, Chaye.
Hello, good evening.
You're on mute. Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hey.
Thank you. Hope you guys have you had a lovely day today.
Yeah, it's been a good one. Missing the sunshine already, but it has been a good one. And,
I think it is too much of sunshine, to be honest, like at this time of the year. So now it feels like more like normal.
Correct. Yeah, we're getting spoiled.
We had a little bit of rain shower today here in Colindale.
Yes.
So it rained. So
Yeah. It rained over this part of the town as well, Taye. So, so Taye, I see. Are you in the part of Colindale? I think much of Colindale has got a lot of those apartment buildings. Are you in one of those apartments?
yeah, I'm in Colindale Gardens.
Right. Okay.
Colindale Gardens, yes. Serenity House, Colindale Gardens. One of the new apartments.
Yeah. Yep. So this is near the RAF museum, yes?
Yeah, yes, the police academy. Mine is Colindale is just by the police academy, the Peel House.
Okay. Nice. So hopefully, as and when the meetings start, when I say meeting start, essentially in the church, it'll be good to see how you are able to make it to Ealing. I think there is there is no direct connectivity apart from a bus, I believe, that goes towards Wembley unless you're planning to drive in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that far, like from Colindale to Ealing.
It's not. yeah, displacement wise, it's not, Sumit. But you see, traffic
Depending upon like whether you are
across
driving or
Hangerling
not.
Junction. Correct. Yeah, the Hanger Lane Junction is the bane of many people's life. So that's where things really slow down. So
Well, what you could do is invest in one of those little scooters that ride along the pavement. they got some speed.
something tells me, Simon, you're already considering that.
No, adults on scooters should be shot.
Yeah,
I think they're just ridiculous. It was bad
seriously.
enough
I
when
mean,
they just use leg power, but now it's just I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. I've had two very strange encounters, I would say, within the last 1 month, where these young kids on scooters, they would just whiz past you, and it'll be mayhem. So and I don't think technically they're not legal yet on the street. So
No.
there's definitely something to be said about that.
No, but they're bad enough on the roads. Yeah. But, hey.
They definitely make those elbowed pizza delivery people look better. So that's the positive side of it. But yeah, that's where it ends.
Yeah, could be worse.
So how many of you are have started to travel to work, if at all? Nobody? Good.
You?
No, not definitely not in next 1 month or so, but maybe there was a end of winter's kind of meetup planned for office, where we were supposed to meet at this Friday at office, but that's been cancelled as well now. So people are a bit touchy that should we do it or not. So go ahead and
Hi,
cancel that.
Martin. Good evening. I just saw your.
Tanush, are you limited to the number of people
I
you
just
can
read
have in your
through
building?
what you sent to me.
Sorry,
Are you limited to the number of people you can have in your building?
I'm not. I don't think so. That should not be the case. I mean, so our firm has got 40 people in the London office, so it's not massive. So I'm just checking in. Yeah, okay. There's Nishtha. So Sumit, I think this is you doing Toastmaster role after a very long time, if I'm not mistaken, at least a year, maybe.
Maybe could be like I wasn't coming, to be honest, like for many months in between. So
Yeah, that's all right. It's good to have you back in full swing. So now I don't think you
sorry, your voice is breaking up.
not started on your pathways journey yet. I think you've done one speech, possibly, if I'm not. I was asking you, have you started on your pathways yet?
I think I've started with the pathways. Like I think I've done the icebreaker, I think. So next time I think I have a speech, which is like the first of that. I can't remember what's the name of that.
Okay. Cool. All right. This is gonna be a very intimate meeting, it seems.
Anuj, can I ask a question? Like, I've been
Yes.
following the steps of pathways, but not necessarily, filling in the forms and marking out what's been done and what's not been done. And because honestly, if you ask me, that's not my personal goal. I'm very happy with like getting feedback and giving speech here or evaluating here or taking roles here. So does that make a difference? Like what's sort of the benefit of diligently completing the pathways?
So I would I would say that it's a very analogous to you doing a formal university course. You can take all the learning if you don't take a certificate, it's up to you how you want to, utilize that. But if you ask me, I mean, I'm gonna put my committee hat on. It impacts a club because the more number of people progress through the checkpoints that we have, the different levels that you hit, it reflects on how well the club is functioning and how much traction we have within the club. But as an individual, if you are happy with just getting feedback and not really tracking it, I think Amit is very kind right now with all of us. We don't know in the next term whoever is the VP, if that person would be a bit of stickler for detail to say that no, you have to have completed certain things to move on to the next one, then you would be required to do that. So it's an education program. So
Yeah.
but technically nothing stops you. You can come in every meeting and not complete your education modules if you wanted to.
I think
Yeah.
Pathways is very difficult to like navigate, like the website.
Exactly.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, we would complete it, right? If it were, because it's not like I haven't been on the site and looked at what needs to be done. It's just not found it user friendly.
I have a theory. I think Toastmaster is, has, and I think it's pretty much, it's Toastmaster has given this as an opportunity for us to kind of have a bonding on one thing that we all hate together.
Common enemy.
So yes, so the common enemy phenomena is definitely playing out well. But sorry, all jokes aside, if you were to further on participate in some formal events like competition, etc., Pathways would be the eligibility criteria as well. So it does serve a purpose.
Good
But
evening.
if you want to be completely altruistic about not participating formally in any of those things, it's a very open door thing.
Well, I mean, I mean, it's not out of want of trying, like everyone else has said. I went on there to try and upload my speeches Amit advised me to do. Couldn't find what to do it. He had to do it for me. I haven't downloaded any evaluation thing. I don't know. I think I filled out the questionnaire about where you are as your baseline, but I don't even know how to check if it's been uploaded properly or not.
Yeah.
Also, it is very hard to see the evaluations or like I think earlier on, like in the physical format, you have to fill in the evaluation format. But now I think they've changed it, and you have to ask each and every specific individual for that feedback. And it is not very easy to like navigate as well, to be honest. Like on the
I think it's just like learning any new thing. Once you do few times, there would be few things that will look like a bit awkward, but I can assure you, people who have embraced it, and I'm with you, Sumit, and I've felt the same thing, and that's one of the reasons. A few meetings ago, we thought we'll use the network break time to kind of demystify any things that are concerning people about Pathways, so we can do that today as well. All right, I think we are past our start time. So Simon, over to you, sir.
Hello and welcome to Toastmasters. First of all, before I start the meeting properly, I'd just like to apologize for my appearance. I've got the windows open, I'm cold, and I like to be warm. So please don't let my appearance put you off, at least not too much anyway. After the meeting itself, obviously it's being recorded, so if you do not wish to be recorded, either switch off your video or let Tanush know so that we can do something about it. Secondly, if you can, please put your microphones onto mute when people are speaking, as it prevents feedback and any other distorting problems. And lastly, but by no means least, please avail yourself of a tea or coffee or something stronger during our break, which we'll be having around about 8:30. And so now let me pass it on to our president, Tanush Saluja.
Thank you, Simon. Good evening, everyone. I think I said hello to quite a few of you, but for others whom I could not say hello, welcome again. I'm very, 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 very happy because because Trojan Speakers have hit one of the biggest milestones that we could have hit in this year. As you know, the club performance and something related to what Aditi was asking as well, we are measured on a scorecard, as any organization with processes like we do have is measured. And we have hit the best, or we are in the elite company now, because there are very few clubs globally that meet this criteria. So we are now a President Distinguished Club. This is the level we were at last year as well. So kudos to all of you. I would especially like to applaud the hard work that the committee members, I see Amit, Cam here, and there have been a lot of people, and Simon as well, who have diligently, pushing all of us to progress on various criteria. I'll just quickly share my screen to show you what I am talking about. Just a second. So if you know, on Toastmaster International, we have this thing called as the DCP, the Distinguished Club Performance, and our club's level, as you can see here on the right hand side. So we have now met the 9 out of 10 goals, which means that the club is in a very, very healthy place, not only in terms of the number of education awards we've hit in this year, but also the new number of members we have recruited, and the other administrative activities that we've been carrying out. So I congratulate all of you, because all of you are part of this, and you have helped us meet this very important milestone. Number 2, again related to something to do with the club. We are now in the final stages of the current committee year. In the next meeting, we would be holding our club elections. I know some of you might have interacted with the committee members, be it of course, with the VPs, the VPMs, but there are a lot of other people who support the club. So what we would be doing between now and the next meeting is sharing some information with you about what are the different roles, what are the different opportunities. Most importantly, what have been the various learning that all of us have had, so that you are informed about what opportunities are available. To the best of my recollection, when we did the engagement survey a few weeks ago, we received some responses about the different roles people would like to try on. I would urge you to consider it again, because this is you driving the club from the front seat. I've been part of the committee for the last 3 years, and I can tell you it's been one of the most delightful experience, because I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot, and I cannot recommend it enough to anyone who wants to give it a shot. And I'm sure people who've been part of the committee would have similar things to state about that. So next meeting is our club elections, and I would urge you to be present as well, because we need the quora, what is the minimum number of people needed to ensure that the voting is done democratically, and we don't decide with less than half people not present. So yeah, those are the 2 important things that I wanted to call out in today's meeting. And with that, I would hand us over to our capable and delightful Toastmaster for the evening, Sumit Singh. Please welcome on stage Sumit Singh.
Hello, everyone. It's very nice to see people all motivated and perked up for this evening of Toastmasters. And it's always nice to see people smiling and having some nice things to say. Now, I have put a theme for this evening tonight. And the theme for today's evening is passion. Now, passion is a word when it comes to mind, it can mean many different words, but most often it means love or desire. But if you think about it in different contexts, it can mean a lot more different things. And a dictionary or an encyclopedia may describe it as a powerful or compelling emotion, such as love or hate. It could be something like, it could be an undying love for someone, your partner, your spouse, your parents, friend. But passion does not have to be a love for another human being. It can mean the purpose in life. It can be viewed as a feeling of enthusiasm and excitement towards a project or a hobby. There's a famous quote that I have recently read by American abolitionist and anti-slavery campaigner Harriet Tubman. And she says, every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. With that context, I would like to ask everyone who comes onto the stage to tell us about what personal passion project you are working on right now. What personal passion project you're working on right now. It doesn't really have to be a lot of stories or a lot of words. It can be very brief. Or if you want to tell us a little bit more about it, you are welcome to do it. And if you want to tell us why, that would be even better. Now, as they say, the charity begins from home. I'll tell you a bit about the passion project that I'm working on. So in last few years, I have been quite interested in sustainability, the sustainability of Earth, sustainability of climate, sustainability of environment, and sustainability of living, to be honest. And it is such a wide topic, but has such a big ramifications for all of us as individuals, as a society, as a country. So this is what is interested me, and I've been doing courses about it, reading books on it, and trying to find out a bit more as to how I can improve myself, make my living more sustainable, bring those sustainable practices within my work, if I can do that, and just try to be a better human being from a sustainable point of view. So with that context, I would like to first call upon the people who are going to help me run this meeting. And these are some of the most important roles. And I think one of the most important role is the Sergeant at Arms, Simon.
Hello. My passion, with that sick passion of forensic pathology. Every chance I get to read a book, I will pick one up and read it. The pictures don't worry me. It just gives me an indication of what real life is actually all about. It's all not good things and happy things. It's sad tragedies and how, unfortunately, some people will meet their maker. I'm privileged to have seen a post-mortem when I was 18, thoroughly enjoyed it. And my partner has been kind enough to buy me paperback books of various pathologists so I can understand their life stories and their experiences. I know it's sick and twisted, but hey, if it makes me happy, then I'm passionate and happy about it. So it might also explain my sense of humor. I won't say anything more.
The second person who is going to help us run this meeting efficiently is going to be timekeeper. And that role today is being played by Taye. So I would like to welcome Taye onto the stage. And Taye, if you can introduce yourself And like once you have introduced yourself, if you can answer this question, that would be great.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Master Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters. It will be a pleasure to be your timekeeper tonight. I don't have the background to make it, but what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be timing you and then giving like a signal. I'm going to be timing the different speeches, and I hope everyone can be able to understand when is their time to stop. To stop. However, I'm very passionate about several things in life, but what I'm most happy and passionate about is trying to help people who are feeling depressed and heartbroken. You know, we live in a world where a lot of people are really, really sad and hurting from either physical pain, emotional distress, even an overwhelming sense of loss. You know, the pandemic has led to so much persons even feeling suicidal. And I want to bring hope to those people because I have been down before. I have had to go through seasons of pain, and I've had to fight to get my strength to be able to stay alive. And I believe that my story and what I learned in over 15 years of overcoming what I went through will help build others who are looking at what they are going through today and thinking there's no hope for tomorrow. And that's, I believe, is my passion, and I do it so strongly, and I do it every day. And it's the first thing I do in the morning, and it's the last thing I do at night. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Taye. That was very noble, and it was truly inspirational. Now, as all Bollywood movies or many Bollywood movies have a double take, so we also have a Simon who is playing another role tonight, which is of a Hark Master. So Simon, if you really want to answer that question again for another passion, it's up to you. But if you can explain what Hark Master is.
No, I'll save the audience from my dark side. The role of Hark Master basically is to listen to what is said tonight and to ask questions of the audience, because the greatest respect you can give to any of the speakers is to listen to what they say. You may not agree with it, you may find it very interesting or very boring or challenging, but the most important thing is that you take on board what is said, digest it, and come to your own conclusions. And so to that means, or that ends, I will be switching off my video screen so you can't see me when I'm writing down potential questions, which I will ask at the end. As in traditional meetings or physical meetings, I'd hand out sweets to whoever got the answer right. But tonight, as it's a virtual meeting, you might just get a cheeky wink from me to say, well done. And there's a final note, actually. Hark Master is not a role which is present in all clubs. It's not traditional, and we're one of the quirky groups which have such a role. So enjoy it. And I will now switch off my screen when the formal speeches start. Thank you, Toastmaster.
So I'm guessing we don't have a grammarian tonight, or do we? So as we all have a perfect grammar, I don't think we need a grammarian anyways. So let's jumping on to the first speech. And the first evaluator for the first speech is Flora. So I would like to welcome Flora onto the stage, and if she can explain what Samantha's speech looks like and tell us a bit about her passion, that would be great. Flora.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow children and most welcome guests. So just introducing first Samantha. So Samantha is doing a first speech for the pathway engaging humor. So this pathway is designed to help you build your skill as a humorous and engaging public speaker. The projects on this path focus on understanding your sense of humor and how that sense of humor translates to an engaging audience members. So I look forward to hear some humorous humor in Samantha's speech. This is a first project of that pathway. So this is a project where we'll assess the strengths and area for development for Samantha. In terms of my passion, it's really broad. It's a really broad topic, but it's really what's really great for Toastmaster. So I would say I'm passionate about driving change. I really like driving the change in an organization with my family, with my friends, and just helping people to see what's feasible, because often there's so many of us that are just in a routine or can't see the opportunity that are just in front of them. And I do love actually going through that and explaining what's feasible, or just driving a sense of reflection within people. Thank you, Mrs. Toastmaster.
Excuse me, please. Please, every speaker should please look at, once I hold this, this is red, it means time up. And this is green, means you're almost getting to your time. So please, I'm just trying to improvise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, the duration for this speech is 5 minutes? Icebreaker, right?
It says 4 to 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
So Tahir, there should be three three things that you have to hold on at: 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and 6 minutes for this speech.
Okay.
And for the rest of them, it should be at 5, 6, and 7. And if we can hold it for a little bit longer, so that like speakers are not distracted.
Okay. Okay. So this is first 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Oh, sorry, 5 minutes and 6 minutes.
Okay, so start with why would be the first time, either 4 minutes or 5 minutes it would be.
Yes.
And then the second is fiber fueled. Okay.
Yes. And then public speaking and presenting, that is the end.
So I'll just request you to hold it for a few more seconds, when you're when the speech is going on, so that they are able to catch your okay, cool, great. Yeah, I think that should be fine. It would be an exciting thing to do, I guess.
I think Tahir is going to be busy.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm checking the time. Oh my goodness, I don't envy you. Anyway.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
So the first speaker for tonight, and that is going to be Samantha, my role as a recruiter. So my role as a recruiter, Samantha, the first speaker tonight.
Okay, I'm so sorry. 1 second. My computer, I just suddenly realized I should have done this. I came right in and started and I couldn't. Okay, great. Master Toastmaster, fellow Trojans, good evening. Have you ever been given a task which you thought was going to be easy, but it turned out to require monumental effort? Well, that's the situation I found myself in. I was given the important task, the task of recruiting into an important role. And I thought it was going to be easy. Why? Because I was given carte blanche. I basically could recruit from any profession, anywhere in the world, any ethnicity, religion, gender. There are only some key criteria. The person had to be intelligent, they had to be hardworking, and they had to have good manual dexterity. So I set about putting out my advert, and I have to say, I was overwhelmed by the number of responses. But that delight turned to disappointment as I sifted through the applicants and realized that the caliber of applicants was not what I had hoped. Very few made it to an interview. And at that interview, they either had difficulty selling themselves, or at the other extreme, they were very verbose. And when we got deep into it, there actually wasn't much substance. So sadly, no one made it to the practical. Have you figured out what role I'm recruiting into? Ladies and gentlemen, I find myself a professional woman in her 50s and single. And I'm there trying to find myself a partner. I'm not looking to get married. I enjoy my freedoms, being able to come and go as I please. I don't want to be running around picking up someone's dirty laundry. That can't be 4 minutes already, mate. He's holding up his book. Oh, you started timing me when I went to get my stuff. Oh dear. So what am I gonna do? Okay, let me keep going. Anyway, and if you look into my bedroom, there's no way. All the wardrobes are packed to capacity. There's no room for anyone else. Now, why did I think this was gonna be easy? Well, data has shown that there's an increasing number of people in their 50s who are single. And they've shown that the divorce rate in their 50s is double now compared to what it was in the 1990s. So I thought from that, I'm going to find applicants who they've gone through their life experience, they've made their mistakes, and they're now coming to present a better version of themselves. But I wasn't going to overlook the younger, more energetic and enthusiastic cohort. They too needed to be given an opportunity. Now, I'm as much as a feminist as I am, and I'm fully there to support women in all that they do. This was not a role for a woman. Ladies and gentlemen, although so far no one has made it to the practical, I am not daunted. I have decided that I am going to enjoy the journey and not focus on the destination. And if, like me, you found yourself with a monumental task ahead, something that is challenging to you, don't get dissuaded. Try and find some way to find it enjoyable, to make your way through it, and before you know it, you'll be at your destination. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha, for that exciting recruitment process that you told us about.
And by the way, that has answered the question. That's the passion project I'm working on.
Perfect. Perfect. So, coming on to the second speech, and therefore the second evaluator for the second speech, I would like to invite Nishtha to the digital platform and just tell us a little bit about Aditi's the next speech and also her passion. Oh, sorry. I think I forgot, like there should be a 1 minute of feedback. I got a bit more passionate about this whole thing. If we can give feedback for 1 minute, and Tai, if you can just let us know.
So the members are invited to capture your feedback through Basecamp. If you are struggling with that, we'll run a quick session about that in the network break. But for now, you can, of course, ping it over to Sam through chat. And for the guests, again, you can ping your feedback to Sam or any other speaker through the through Zoom chat.
Shall we go on to the next speech now? And
Yes. Okay.
okay, perfect. So just 1 minute, sorry, I'm just trying to get up. So for the next speech, I would like to call upon Nishtha to tell us a bit about Aditi's next speech and about her passion. Everyone, Can we please welcome Nishtha to the digital platform?
Thank you, Sunil. Today, Aditi is giving a speech titled The Tyranny of Merit, a book review. This is her fourth speech on Presentation Mastery Path. It's part of researching and presenting, and she has 5 to 7 minutes to give the speech. And in this speech, the objectives are to research and present an unfamiliar topic, organize the speech clearly to maximize audience understanding, craft clear and engaging transitions between main sections of her speech, use and cite sources to support speech content, and make sources list available. And to answer your question, I have many passions, from the environment to teaching to a lot of other things. But at the moment, there are 2 or 3 things that I'm focusing on and working on. I'm actually in the middle of testing my boundaries and pushing myself. So one of the passions is this. I've recently learned to solve a Rubik Cube, so I'm trying to improve my speed. And the other one is fasting and seeing how far I can go. In fact, it's interesting. Just this evening, I committed to a 36-hour fast. So I just ate 2 hours ago, and I shouldn't be eating until Friday morning. I've never done this before, but I just want to test my limits. So this is one of the things, one of the passions that I'm working on. So over to you.
Thank you, Nishtha. To be honest, I would never be able to do 36 hours at any point of time. So good for you. So I would like to welcome Aditi to the stage, and with a speech entitled The Tyranny of Merit, a book review. Aditi, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. I will be giving my 4th topic and 2nd speech today, titled The Tyranny of Merit, a book review. Now, before I delve into the details of the book, I want to ask how many of you have seen Operation Varsity Blues, a documentary on college admission scandal on Netflix, or are simply aware of what unfolded in the US in 2013? Not a lot of you. So for the uninitiated, a quick summary is that this was the largest admission scam to be uncovered, and it included the rich and the famous cheating on the standardized testing and bribing their children's way into elite colleges. What ensued was a very open and loud public debate about the inequality and the injustice of the system. However, what the narrative missed was that the rich actually felt this need for not just education, but for elite education for their children. College education from reputable schools has become linked to prestige and status in society. And as a fallout, jobs with no college education have lost status and dignity. And it is this trend that I want to talk to you about today. I want to discuss this topic by reviewing a book called The Tyranny of Merit. It's written by Professor Michael Sandel, who teaches law and philosophy at the Harvard University. I will review the book in 3 parts. First, the rise of the meritocratic rhetoric. Second, a judgment on this rhetoric. And third, the impact and the policy corrections for the fallout that has happened from this. So, to begin with, how did we as a society get to be this way? As globalization increased and the economy became more knowledge-based, a lot of people benefited out of it. Potentially each one of us in this call has been a benefactor of that. But in that process, many blue-collar jobs were lost and many people were disenfranchised. That's when the politicians started citing education as a way out. And elite education became the new type of divide in our society. This started in around 80s and subsequently increased with the Reagan and Thatcher era, and then maybe at its peak with Barack Obama in. Now, what happened with building this politics around the idea that education and college degrees, a prerequisite for dignified life, meant that those without degrees were devalued. There was, and there still is, a prejudice against the less educated. And this narrative was at its peak when inequality was rising and upward mobility, based on all indicators, was very difficult, however hard you worked. And all of this has bubbled quite recently in a political phenomena we've all experienced, the rise of nationalism and extremism, and in the election of Trump and Brexit. Every statistics show that it was education and not income that explained these voting patterns. So now, on to the second part, which is really my favorite. The author discusses why education and meritocratic rise in the society is not just difficult to achieve, but it is also a flawed concept. Now pay attention here, because this is a new way of thinking, or at least it was to me. Meritocracy is difficult to achieve because the rich can afford better education and better opportunities for their children. The poor get left behind. No way to stop that. But meritocracy is also a flawed concept. Suppose you were to create an equal playing field, and then you would still end up with inequality. You would still end up with winners and losers. And this would be because of the difference in inherent talent of people. So here the author, Professor Michael Sandel, asks the question about the moral status of talents. Is your talent really deserved, or is it just a matter of good luck? If you consider being born with a handicap as being unlucky, then why is not being born talented considered lucky? Think about a highly paid NBA star, but for the English audience here, maybe, I don't know, imagine David Beckham. Do they deserve the salaries that they get? Of course, they work hard to preserve their talent, but the starting point is still talent. And does this not then give a sufficient case for taxation? A lot of you might argue, as did I, what you earn reflects the value you create in society, but does it really? Now, for a reference from the popular culture, how many of you know the show Breaking Bad? It's about a chemistry professor who can teach chemistry, create a pipeline of talent, or he can manufacture and sell drugs. Now, which job creates more value, and which job do you think paid him more? Or think about the more recent times, right? COVID, in a lockdown, it's the bus drivers, the postmasters, the grocery staff that have kept our economy running. But do you think their salaries reflect the value they create? So here, the third part is about the impact of increasing focus on meritocracy and some policy corrections. Now, according to the author, no one is winning this race, and therefore the tyranny of merit. Should I not have 7 minutes to finish? Okay. According to the authors, no one is winning. So for the rich who do make it to elite colleges, it comes with a lot of anxiety, stress, pressure for perfectionism, and arrogance when they make it. And for those who are left behind, there is demoralizing and even a humiliation at that failure. So Angus Deaton, a Nobel laureate, has noted in his recent book a steep rise in what he calls deaths of despair, which is also the name of the book, and despair coming from addiction, suicides, and depression. This is predominantly among the uneducated white men of US, and it reflects the degradation in their way of life. Based on this, the author has made some policy recommendations about restoring the dignity of life, a dignity of work. And while these policies are enacted, which I don't want to get into, I hope what you can do is reflect on the lessons from this book, and then personally, individually be kinder to everyone from every class and restore the dignity of labor. With that, I'll conclude, and thank you all.
And if you would like to add something about your passion, Aditi, that would be great.
Yeah, I don't want to come across as a contrarian, but I think, I mean, at some point when I used to be younger, I used to think, oh my God, I need to find something that I'm passionate about. And then I just got to a point where I think passion is such an extreme emotion. It's never good to be passionate. It's always good to be like equanimous and calm and do everything with like an even mind. So a very boring answer. I try intellectually, even though my heart might want to be passionate about something, to not get too attached about anything.
Thank you. That is a very good answer as well, to be honest. And it's always always good to hear everyone else's viewpoint. Now, if we can give 1 minute for the feedback for Aditi.
It's 1 minute.
Okay, so coming on to the next thing on our agenda, we have Cam, who is evaluating Irina. So I would like to call upon Cam onto the digital stage and tell us a bit about the speech that Irina is going to give and also about her passion. Everyone, Cam.
Good evening, everyone. So Irina is doing a speech from Motivational Strategies, number 5. And the purpose of this speech is to connect with storytelling. She will have between 5 to 7 minutes. Her purpose today is to present an established story about her life or a fictional tale of her own creation. And the title will be Finding My Calling. In terms of my passion, I think I would like, it's quite general, but my passion is personal transformation, in the sense that I get up every morning to meditate. That's my sort of tool. But I'm actually fascinated with what happens when you focus, how you change your external world when you focus on your internal world. So I have this kind of excitement about changing things by focusing on the things that can't be seen. So a bit like electricity, you can't see electricity, but you switch on the button and the electricity comes on. So I'm like, oh, how can I change my world by focusing on things that the eye can't see? So yeah, that's my passion.
Thanks a lot, Cam, for that interesting viewpoint. And so the next speech is Irina with the speech entitled Finding My Calling. I would like to welcome Irina onto the stage, please.
Have you ever experienced the feeling of failure? I did, and it feels terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, the following story is about how a failure for me became an opportunity. 6 years ago, for the first time, I've been fired from my job. I never felt so down in my life. At that time, I was acting as a recruitment consultant, and I've been employed for nearly a month. The outcome was expected from my side because honestly, I hated the job. I passionately hated it. I've been there just because I need to earn some money. However, even so, just this experience of being fired, it just teared me down. I never felt so down before. After that, 5 months in a row, I've been sending thousands and thousands of job applications, and none of them turned into a job opportunity for me. Little did I know that I've been fighting a losing battle. Luckily for me, my father realized that and pointed to me. You either need to extend your area of exploring, or the easy option is to go back home. After a couple of days, one morning, my father said to me, "Get dressed, you're coming with me." So I turned up at my father's job. At that point, I was introduced to a construction site. And when you say construction, I know exactly what you are thinking of. because exactly that was my feeling. Construction industry is perceived as something that you're doing with your hands, a very dirty job, an industry where you don't have career progression, and it's definitely a job not for women. But after 5 years of activating in this industry, starting as a site engineer and now being a site manager on my job, completed my studies, completed my master's degree, I realized that there's no better industry that I would be at this moment of my life. You see, being a woman in construction, for me personally, it meant that I had to work twice as harder to prove myself every time and every day. Most of the time I've been confused to an accountant or a secretary, but I never gave up. I've always been there on time. I've took every opportunity that I had, and I've challenged myself every day. Because construction, no matter how pressure you have in there, no matter how stress you have in there, for me personally, is the best industry that I would ever be in. And I tried a lot of jobs before, and never match my personal beliefs as much as the construction does. So thankfully that failure that I had and that 5 months of unemployment led me to a career in construction industry. I remember I've told you, construction is not for women. Wrong. Yes, construction is a male-dominated industry. But again, I think I'm really lucky on that because I really enjoy it. Everywhere I go, I'm surrounded by men. And it's very good advantage for me. Because I couldn't find myself working in a female industry. Every time I find competition between other women, every time trying to chase after something, running after something, which is not the case here. Very straightforward relationship, very straightforward decision. Every time gets what I want and how I want, no matter what. So yes, I feel lucky for that opportunity. I feel lucky for that moment of 5 months of unemployment, so I can finally find myself at a place where I want to be. The point that I want to make here is that no matter what happens in life, no matter how down you feel sometimes, try to step out and try to see things from a different angle. Try to look around you and see how you can turn this failure in opportunity for you. Step aside and maybe get some help. In my case, I was lucky that someone realized that for me, that I couldn't fit in any other industries that I fit in construction. So the final is, no matter what happens to you, no matter what stage you are in life, and if you feel that failure inside, step and look from a different angle. See what opportunity are surrounding you. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thanks a lot, Irina, for that wonderful story about yourself. Also, I would like to ask you, if you would want to share any passion projects that you're currently working upon right now.
That's a hard question. I don't feel like I really am working on something, to be honest. But one small thing that I really work on starting to do my exercises again. So I had this app on my phone, sets me remind every day 6 p.m. in the evening, so I can do my exercises. So yeah, that's kind of a passion for me at my stage, to get into the habit, to get healthy and stay healthy, because I'm conscious about what I'm eating, but I don't really care about my exercises, my daily routine. So I really want to improve that. So that's it, I guess, for now.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Irina. Yes, exercises is definitely that we all should be also working upon. To be honest, I have not been doing my exercises that regularly in this lockdown. So hopefully I would also do something about it. I would like to have a minute on the clock, please, to give feedback to Irina.
One minute.
So now that we are done with all the speeches, Tahiyyah, if you can come to the stage and let us know the speech timings for all the three speakers, that would be great.
Thank you very much, Master Toastmaster. Samantha was the first speaker. She had a timing of 5 minutes, 26 seconds. Aditi, second speaker, 6 minutes, 58 seconds. And Irina, 6 minutes, 58 seconds. They both tied, and nobody went over 7 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Anyways, like we have between for a speech entitled 5 to 7 minutes, they can go up till 7 minutes, 30 seconds, even in a competition. So I think we are fine with that ways. So do we want to do a poll, Tanuj? Yes. Perfect.
Guests are also allowed to vote. We're waiting for 2 more votes to come in. Okay, I think we'll stop there. Thank you.
Perfect. So we are coming on to the first half of this meeting and would like to encourage the guests within the meeting to introduce themselves and tell us why they're over here. Is it Sid? Oh, sorry.
Hi, I was just introduced from a friend to join this meeting, and she didn't really tell me much about it. She was just like, give it a go. You know, it's absolutely something I would recommend everyone to do. So I just thought I'll have a go. I'm a bit shy because I don't know what the rules are and everything, but it was really, really nice to be part of this and very inspiring as well. And I really hope to, join in the future as well.
Great, thank you. Thanks a lot. Sorry, I missed the fact that evaluations are still missing. So, just to get back on that track for the evaluations, because every speech has to be evaluated. And for that, we have 3 wonderful evaluators who would be going through the 3 speeches. I would like to welcome Flora onto the stage to evaluate Samantha's speech. Flora?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. So yeah, it's my pleasure to evaluate Samantha's speech. So Samantha was doing the first speech on the pathway engaging with humor. And I want to commend her for really bringing a lot of humor in her speech, but also how she engaged with the timekeeper and the Toastmaster after the speeches. I thought that was really a great demonstration of her strengths and how she can lift mood in the audience. So well done. In addition, what I like really in this light-hearted speech is that she built very well the story and really got me thinking about she was re-recruiting someone. So she had a lot of detail, really lovely use of language when she used, carte blanche, for example. I like that expressions. And I could imagine Samantha really doing that recruitment and having all the power she could to really choose a perfect person. But then in a story, there was a fabulous transition when, again, captivated me when she said the delight turned into disappointment. So I was again thinking, oh my God, what happened? And then like a cliffhanger, actually she was trying to recruit a partner or to find a partner. So that was really, really nicely well constructed with a lot of humor in her speech. In addition, what I liked as well is her presence, is how she captivates the video or the audience via Zoom. A seriousness, a style, all even like using the data to corroborate, to explain, why she thinks it should have been an easy task. I thought that was really entertaining and really make me smile. So wonderful. And in terms of my recommendation, I would say it was difficult because it just went very, very quickly, and I didn't actually. I was really captivated by the double sense of the speech. But I would say because there's so much content, and also because it's quite an entertaining speech. Actually, at the moment, I was just not paying attention anymore to the conclusion, so I missed the conclusion. I would say probably the challenge in that type of speech is almost to make sure the audience continue to follow you, because it was so well constructed that actually at the end you're just thinking in your own thought as an audience, and you just lost where things are. And then at the start, it was just to suggest to start how, if you're properly set up, that would just help you, I guess, in terms of competition. But again, you just use it very well. So it was actually very funny for humorous speeches, the way you react. So overall, I would say it was really a great speech, a lot of humor, very well built, captivate the audience. I saw a lot of us, smiling through the speeches. And I would just make sure you keep us on your speeches in the next, looking forward to your next speeches. Thank you.
Thank you, Flora.
Thank you, Flora, for that lovely evaluation. Now, coming on to the second evaluation of Aditi's speech, I would like to welcome Nishtha on and give us the evaluation on Aditi's speech. Nishtha, everyone.
Thank you, Sumit. First of all, to Aditi, I'd say this was a very brave, deep, and strong topic. It's also personally close to my heart. I attended his Michael Sandel's talk back in November when the book was launched. I'll start with all the things that Aditi got absolutely right. She started with a question. It was a hook. It got everybody's attention. Her delivery was well-paced. She spoke as if you were sitting with a friend in a living room. And she broke it down into 3 parts. She told us what we should expect as she went ahead to give her speech. She gave examples and asked interesting questions. For example, she said, think about David Beckham, think about disabled people. She smiled. She made an effort to connect with the audience through her hand gestures and body language. However, I thought there were some points that stood out. To me, I thought it was a very heavy topic, and the amount of information she gave was quite a lot for the audience to take. It seemed like the speech was packed with a lot of information. It had references to social mobility, to political class, to how merit works. And at one point, I struggled to follow her speech. She started with a good pace, but then later on, it became a bit fast. And I was struggling to actually follow her as she was making her points. And also at one point, I thought, is Aditi reading off her screen? Which was a bit distracting because I could see her eyes moving a little, shifting, as you read, and you can sometimes tell. But then that's all right. I mean, we can always refer to our notes, but it became a bit obvious after a while. And also in the beginning, I thought she didn't need to remind us what her speech number was, so she could just straight away dive into it. Maybe she could edit her intro and make it shorter or more concise, because this was a heavy topic. I mean, she needed to give time to the audience to absorb the information and all the points that she was making. But then coming back to what she did right, or where she actually delivered it very well, was attempting to actually dissect such a big topic, something that cannot easily be discussed in 5 to 7 minutes. I have a recommendation for Aditi. I think the speech is perhaps better suited for a PowerPoint presentation. Maybe she can start with an example. Also, maybe she could think about explaining the concept first. What is tyranny of merit? Maybe she could give an example or speak about someone we all know. It could be some celebrity, and she could then, dissect it into smaller chunks. But overall, this was a brave attempt, very good topic, and a good effort. Well done, Aditi. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Thanks a lot, Nish, for that evaluation of Aditi's speech. Coming on to the third evaluation, and we would be welcoming Cam onto the stage to give an evaluation of Irina's speech. Cam, everyone.
Thank you, Samit. So tonight we heard an inspiring speech from Irina. And I'm going to start off by focusing on what I felt were the strengths of the speech. The first strength was that she actually met the objectives. So she told us a story about her life. And the second strength I felt was the signposting. There was a clear structure to her speech. So as an audience, I felt, as a member of the audience, I followed her speech. She started off with a question which helped draw us in straight away. Have you ever had that feeling of failure? And then she paused. I did. So I felt like the way she started really drew us in. And of course, we've all felt the feeling of failure. So that resonated for all of us. Then her body of her speech, she took us on a journey of how she was fired, how her dad helped her find a new role, a new opportunity. And then she ended with a conclusion. So a clear structure. The third strength of this speech was the pace. I felt Irina had a really good pace. She takes her time, she uses pauses, she gives us the opportunity to reflect when she asks questions, and all of those really added to her speech. And that brings me to my first recommendation, which is, it was an inspiring speech, but what could have made this more motivational? And it would be vocal variety. because there were things that she spoke about which she could have really brought to life. And I use the example of when she said, she spoke about the frustration of applying to 1,000 jobs. Like she could have really amped that up a little bit more. Or when she told us that she was talking, her impression of working in construction, about getting her hands dirty. So she could have used body language, and bringing those kind of things into the speech will just help to take it to the next level. That brings me to sort of my conclusion, which is that she met the objectives, there was clear signposting, and the conclusion, a lot of people rushed the conclusion. She gave us time, she posed questions back to the audience and left us on a high. So she gave us advice, she left us with the advice: reframe, turn failure into opportunity, and get help. So, and just a few things to take this great speech and make it even greater. But well done to Arena. I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Cam, for that evaluation of Arena's speech. Now we are coming on to the first half of this meeting, and I think we are done with the introductions of the guests as well. So what time shall we, it's 2036. Shall we say 2050? Okay, so let us meet at 8:50. Yes, let us meet at 8:50 this time, and we can have a 15 minutes of break. And if you want to grab a coffee, tea, or whatever suits you, water maybe. And we'll catch you for the table topics soon.
Thanks, Amit. And I'm gonna run through a quick walkthrough of how to give feedback on Basecamp. So if any one of you is interested, stick around. If I don't have any audience, then I'll also relieve myself, but happy to help out if anybody wants to see that. Cool. So I'm gonna share my screen, and I think we did this a couple of meetings ago as well, but this is one of those things. The more we practice, the more familiar we would get with it. So hopefully this should look like a right place to start for most of you if you don't know where we are at the moment. So if you go to Toastmaster, oops, sorry. So if you go to Toastmaster International and log on, oops, sorry, I'm on a wrong location here. Yes, so this is where we are. We go to Pathways and then head on to Basecamp. Now, this is the option you need to select. If you are one of the Basecamp managers, of course, you'll see the additional option, but as the club members, we need to go to Basecamp directly, and it brings us on to the Basecamp homepage. And since we are talking about feedback, I'm going to quickly just mention how to do that. So say, for example, I had feedback to offer to Nishtha. So all you need to do is have this page open and start typing Nishtha's name here. And the temptation, and this is where the genius of whoever designed this website comes in. The temptation would be to simply click on this. If you are like me, nothing would happen. What I would recommend you to do is whatever name you're typing in, once you've entered the requisite number of characters to find the unique name, press enter on your keyboard. And that is when it actually works. And you can see that it has now brought on the search result for Nishtha. And I go on to her profile. Now think of it like Facebook, right? So I'm going on to Nishtha's Facebook wall. I think it used to be called at some point. And I'm going to give her feedback. So I'm going to click on feedback for Nishtha. And as you can see, Linda or Nishtha has given a feedback. Oh, she's asked for feedback. And you can start typing your feedback. And if you want it to be not visible to everyone, you can just choose that, or if you want it to be public, you can choose everyone. And this is where it is relevant for the people who do the evaluations as well. The evaluation forms that you receive, the PDF documents, you are allowed to attach those as attachments here. So you can plug that in along with the text and hit post. So I'm going to just, for the sample or for the sake of this example, show you. So I can simply say save, and the feedback would be visible. So now Nishta has a record for the feedback that she received, and she can, of course, utilize that for improving her speeches here on. So yeah, that's the quickest way to go about it. And if I, wanted to quickly jump onto another person's feedback, say I want to give feedback to Amit, again, I would start typing Amit's name and hit enter. And in all possibilities, it would simply bring up the people who are within your club. I've still not mastered the way through which you can give feedback to anybody who's outside the club. So at least that part should be taken care of. And you go to Amit's wall, let's call it, and offer that feedback. And as you can see, Linda and some other people have been very diligently giving feedback at the right place. So let's start doing that. This would allow the speakers to have the feedback available at the right place for them to consume. Any questions? If anybody's watching, sorry, I can't see who all are here.
Let's say if I have to see my feedback of like the speeches that I've done in the past, is it the same place? Like
It is. So in that case, Sumit, you would not go to, you would not search your name. Technically, you would simply go to my feedback.
Okay.
On the home page, and you can see the feedback that has been provided by us.
Perfect. Cool. Thank
Tanuj,
you.
One of the questions Nishta asked me before I gave my speech was where she can give me feedback for that to be, ticked off the pathway milestone. What's the way to do that?
I think, and even I've not fully, become good at that. I believe what you need to do is you need to request the pathway, request the feedback from somewhere here. Let me see.
Tanuj, I figured it out.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nisha.
Right,
Do you wanna walk me through how to do that?
Yeah. So what I did was I actually went to resources page, and then I just found an evaluation sheet, and it allows you to type in the form. So I'm just going to fill that up and email it to Aditi on Pathways.
So you're talking about the specific asset that you need to use or the document template that you need to use. So Aditi, I think there has been a bit of misconception about is there like a workflow here? So does your level get completed only when Nisha has provided her feedback? So that's not the case here.
Okay.
It is, of course, important for you to capture the feedback from your evaluator, but it does not hinder your progression on Pathway, if that makes sense.
Thanks for clearing that, Tanuj. I thought that could be a problem because a couple of my evaluation sheets are pending. I mean, my evaluators are yet to give it to me, and I thought in the window it just showed incomplete. So I wasn't sure whether this was going to hinder my. I mean, if it would prevent me from closing my, finishing my path. So I wasn't sure about that.
I believe that's not the case. I've not completed my first level yet, so maybe somebody more intelligent.
So we don't have to wait, because when you complete your pathways, okay, when you deliver your speech, all the speeches are that pathways, and then you just need to go to Basecamp and submit your award. There is no somebody has to have your evaluations done. It's a kind of an informal or formal evaluation, but that is then tracked as part of pathways completion.
Yeah, so it's not.
But for future reference, what's the way to find the form in resources, but also in my Basecamp, right? There must be a way to do that easily in my Basecamp.
Yes, so that's so I can show that to you, and this would be again relevant to my pathway now, Aditi. So if I were to look at my curriculum, and sorry, Sid, this might sound very dragging, but this is just the online education program that we have, and we recently moved on to this platform, so we are still learning our way through it. So say, for example, I wanted to, whoever is my evaluator for the next speech, I want to send the form to them. So I open my curriculum, and so if this is my next level, I go to that level, and as you are working through the slideshow, the module, there is a segment where they call upon the reference material. So that's where you would find the document. So I'm not sure why it's taking time. Okay, something seems to be happening now. Right, so I'm just gonna quickly go to the next page here. Oh, it's gonna go through the whole thing. But if I were to look at this,
your evaluation, right?
Yes, so evaluation resource.
But this is
Now,
the same form in every speech. It's the same form.
It is, but only, I mean, as far as I am aware, it is only for the level 1. So level 1 across all paths, all pathways is consistent. It's similar, so that's why it would not matter as much. However, as people progress to level 2, level 3, and so on, these evaluation resources would be more specific to that particular speech or that particular pathway.
Okay.
So for now, I mean, if you are in early stages of the pathway, it would not matter. But yeah, that's my understanding. Again, I mean, I'm actually behind you, Aditi. So you know more than me about pathways. So,
Nisha, did you find the form?
I was just going to say that I found a shortcut. So instead of actually going through your assignment and clicking all the buttons and then finding this form, there is another link which allows you to access this. I think I posted that in WhatsApp group.
Yeah, so that would be the so on Toastmasters International Resources page. Yes.
Yes.
Correct. So that's the giant repository of all these templates. So if you search for effectively 8102E, you would land on this document directly. However, the part we need to be cognizant of is that you would not always know what particular form to choose if you're on the advanced stages of pathway. So at that point, it is better for the speaker to dig out which particular form. I mean, even if you say, for example, find out what specific code you want to be evaluated on, you can share that code with your evaluator and they can search it from the resources. And
is it the same link, Nishtha, that I shared, or is it a different link?
It's a different one, Amit. The one you shared had 3 drop-down buttons, and they had so many options which had nothing to do with the evaluation. And in fact, if anything, they confused me even more because they started talking about billboards, marketing, Korean, Mandarin, those kind of things. So I'm just sharing that thing in the chat as well. If anybody wants to.
So Nish, do you want to maybe quickly walk us through? So if I'm not mistaken, I think
I clicked on that link, and that link doesn't take me to the actual forms. Maybe if you can share.
Okay, I will quickly. So I went to the home button. Okay, so should I share my screen?
You can walk me through. So I'm on Toastmasters International page now. Are you able to see my screen?
Just a sec. Okay, so just go to your Basecamp.
Oh, okay.
Go to Pathways, Basecamp.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So in this one, go to speech evaluations. So do you see, it says, how do I give my, okay, so yeah, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. In the second column, do you see evaluations and feedback evaluation resources 1?
Yeah.
This is where I found it. So instead of going through all those assignments and, you know, jumping through so many hoops, you can just go here, and then depending on the level of your speaker, you can pull out the right form.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's again one of the things that can be done. So
Is it linked to pathways? Is it linked to individual pathways? Like if somebody is engaging.
Okay, you've clicked evaluation resource 2, but if you go back and click on 1.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, so if you say request.
So I think it'll be, is this what would trigger that workflow thing to your evaluator?
So request, or no, actually, sorry, there is another tiny, drop down. So if you say launch, does it take you there? Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. So you see, this is a different form here. So this is 8100E3. The speech
this is evaluator speech. Sorry. It says evaluator speech. So that means you need to find the speaker.
Correct.
The evaluation. So one of the, because you're in evaluation resource 3. So you need to go to 1, resource 1. And then,
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, correct. So yes, I think it kind of diversifies once we progress to subsequent levels. But at level 1, Aditi, as you know, just as an FYI, everybody is going through same lessons and same forms, etc. So when we go on to the level 2 and subsequent levels, depending upon which pathway you're on, my understanding is that these forms should vary.
Yeah,
so
understood.
Yeah, I'll stop the screen share and back to our Mr. Toastmaster. Sumit, over to you.
Thank you, Tanuj. And after this presentation, at least I know that I'm not the only one who is having problems with the pathways, and I have a fair bit of company over there. So that's very comforting to know. So coming on to the next part of our evening, I would like to welcome Linda White, who is the table topic master. I would like to welcome Linda to the stage and explain what this section looks like. And also I would encourage her to answer about her passion. What is the passion project that she's working on right now? Linda, everyone.
Thank you. I'll not linger on a passion project. I'm a bit like Aditi. I save my energy really, but I am working on a project, community library in Northfields, which will be a hub for the community. It's all being run by volunteers, and I am part of that and have an extra job working in the library on a Saturday morning. But onto the programme. This is Table Topics. Table Topics are short, impromptu speeches. You don't know what you're going to be asked. And we'd like you to speak for at least a minute. And for the timekeeper's benefit, where is he? Taye. The green light or equivalent will come on at 1 minute. The amber light or equivalent will come on at 1.5 minutes, and the red light or equivalent will come on at 2 minutes. I'll give priority to members who haven't had any other speaking opportunities this evening. There are not very many of you. I think you know, the one person knows who they are, so they will definitely get an opportunity. But there'll be slots for some other people as well. I hope I've chosen questions that don't need you to think a lot. I want to test your speaking, to give you a chance to put together a little speech, not to have to, think of something really, really clever. So they're really questions about yourself and what you like. And this is a little tip for I've always been quite scared of table topics, so this is a little bit of a tip for others like me. The kind of question I'm going to ask, a way to answer it is just to decide what your answer is. Decide and announce it proudly. That's step one. Then give 3 reasons for it. Think of 3 things why you like this or you do this. And then conclude. Repeat what you've chosen. And if you've time, summarize the 3 points you've made. So it's a little speech with a start, a body, 3 points, and a conclusion. And that might make it easy to do. I'll announce the topic twice, and everybody can be thinking, if that's me, what am I going to say? So take that time to think so that when I call your name, you've already given it some thought. How does that sound? Thumbs up if you're all okay. Good, thank you.
Just one interjection, Linda. Yes, I just wanted to ask Taye to switch on his video so that like people can see the timings. And
yes.
he's already done it, so it's fine.
Thank you, Sumit. Are you okay, Taye? Okay with the timings? And yeah, okay, good. So we can begin. My first topic is, tell us about your favorite meal and the reasons why it's your favorite meal. Tell us about your favorite meal and the reasons why it's your favorite meal. And that topic goes to Amit.
Thank you, Linda. I think my favorite meal previously, and maybe not now because it's too oily, my favorite meal was chole bhature. That is an Indian dish, which is a very, you can maybe Tanuj and my Indian friends know about it. It's a street food in India and very popular in North India, especially in Delhi. So it's a very popular, but it's very greasy, very oily. It's deep fried. So now because of health reasons, I've stopped taking it. But once in 3-4 months, 5-6 months, I asked my wife to make it, and I enjoy it very good. So as I said, the 3 reasons for liking it, especially because it's a North Indian, very popular North Indian dish. You will find it everywhere in the street food in North India, and it's delicious as well. But depends, like different shops has different taste. It's not like a standard meal. Like there's very popular shops in Old Delhi, where I'm born and brought up. You will find very different tastes, and yeah, it's an Indian food. We are born and brought up to eat up, and yeah. So in conclusion, yeah, as I said, it's a favorite dish I have, but over a period of time, I'm not taking it more often. It's just to be more healthy and to be more health conscious. I've decided to take it not very often, maybe 2-3 times in a year nowadays. Thank you.
Thank you, Amit. May I just check in with Taye? You're okay for the green light at 1 minute?
I was timing at 3 minutes.
Okay, I thought it was a little long. No, the green light at 1 minute, the amber light at 1.5 minutes,
okay,
and the red light at 2 minutes. These are short speeches.
Okay, thank you.
So I expect Amit had to go for a bit longer, but
Yes.
for the rest, green light at 1 minute, amber at 1.5, red at 2. Okay.
But Amit was should I say the time he did? It was less than 2 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. The second topic that I have, it relates to something a lot of us have been doing more of in the lockdown. We've been walking a lot locally. So my next topic is, what is your favorite walk and what are the reasons? What is your favorite walk and what are the reasons? And that question goes to Cam.
Thank you, Linda. So, as most of you are aware, I live in Ealing and I have 2 parks nearby, and I've actually met Linda at, I think, both of these parks. So maybe that's why she's asked me the question. I don't know. She's seen me in the park. The first park is Warple Park, and it's a very beautiful park. So it looks like something out of Pride and Prejudice. Like, it's very like a Jane Austen novel could be filmed there, because there's a place called Pithanger Manor, where you can go and eat, and they have exhibitions there before the lockdown. But this park is beautifully kept. Like, there's beautiful plant varieties, the trees. There's one tree that is so old that it's being held by these blocks of wood, and it's probably been there hundreds of years. And that I don't want to choose between 2 parks, but it is my favorite park, because Lammas Park, which is right next to it, is a bit more of a normal park. So it's like there's playing fields. So I am biased towards Warple Park, but because when I walk into that park, you feel like you enter a different world, like your whole energy changes, and you end up, you wouldn't believe that you were in like London, because it's just, it's an escape. So I go there every single morning. I walk for an hour, and I set myself, I try to go around 4 times. That's like my personal best in an hour, and I'm trying to get faster without running. So I would say that is my favorite park, and I recommend that everyone go and visit. You can visit there even with these restrictions, as long as you keep your distance, but it does get busy during the summer. So yeah, go along, visit, and let me know if you agree with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Cam. I'll see you in Walpole Park another day. My next topic is, what is the best gift you've ever received, and what are the reasons? What's the best gift you ever received, and what are the reasons? And that question goes to our guest this evening, Sid. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sid.
Hi, I'm still thinking about this. There's a few, but I'll say the most recent gift I received, which was for Christmas. It was from my sister, and it was a cookery course class that you can go, and it was specifically for vegetarian and vegan cuisines, as I recently became a vegetarian and vegan. So the reason why that was a good gift is because, number one, it was very thoughtful. It kept in mind that, that was like the passion that I'm into. Like, I've recently really gone into cooking. The fact that I've gone vegetarian and vegan, and I'm sort of trying out new things and really experimenting with flavors. Secondly, she knows I'm always watching cooking shows. Like, throughout lockdown, that's all I did, and I really got into it. So that was the second reason. Third reason, I believe I have to be more practical with finding my passions and going into it, because usually I'm stuck on work, and then when I'm home, I'm dead and I'm gone. So it's really good way to like get me out there and, indulge in something I'm finding really and truly enlightening for me. So in conclusion, I think that's one of those gifts that I really will remember for life. And it just makes me think how thoughtful my sister's been. So yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Sid. And well done. My fourth topic is, tell us about a movie that you really enjoyed, and what are the reasons? Tell us about a movie that you've really enjoyed, and what are the reasons? And that topic goes to Flora.
Thank you, Madam Topic Master. So what a movie that I really enjoyed. I actually don't watch much movie at the moment. Have recently, well, not recently, probably over the year, more like being a fan on series. and thinking about it, I guess maybe I can explain why series are better than movies nowadays. But often what's interesting is that in a movie, I always find the plot that either take too long to develop, or it's just too, it's a good movie, and then at the end, you actually don't exactly know what the movie I finished this way. Whereas for a series, you have time to get into the character, into the plot, and there's a lot of suspense, and it just keeps you going through. You just become more attached to the personage. So the one I really follow at the moment is This Is Us, which is a story of a family that we see evolving through their different stage of their life. So when they were children, when then they become adult and they are certain life questions. So if you haven't watched it, it is a very good one, and you just get into the character, and you know it will not finish for a while, which is what I like. On a movie in general, I'm always very disappointed, so I don't technically actually watch movie. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Flora, and for telling us about the series. The next topic is similar. It is, could you tell us about a book you really enjoyed? Could you tell us about a book you really enjoyed and the reasons why you enjoyed it? And that topic goes to Nish.
Thank you, Linda. For some reason, I thought you would ask me about books. I don't remember my best books, but I remember how they made me feel. Any book and every book is a favorite book if it makes me laugh, if it makes me think, if it is a book that I have closed and thought about, and then opened it again and read another line, another paragraph. It's a book that I have read under my duvet at 3 a.m. using my phone's torch when my mom is shouting at me to turn off the lights and go to sleep. It's a book, it can be a book that made my son laugh. He's 6 years old, anything can amuse. 6-year-olds are very easy to amuse. So when he reads this book called I Need a New Bum, it makes him laugh. And even though I haven't read the book, it becomes my favorite book in that moment. Books become your companions. Books take you to another world. They allow you to get lost in a different universe, a place where you'll never be. Any book can be the best book if it takes you places. Back to Linda.
Thank you. That was very deep and a very nice thought, Nish. I think it's 8 minutes past 9. We probably need all the rest of our time for evaluation and the rest of the evening. So that will be the last table topic. Thank you all for participating so enthusiastically and your really nice table topic speeches. And I will hand back to Toastmaster Sumit.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Linda, for that interesting questions. And it was very nice to hear everyone's answers as well. They were very hilarious and very informative as well. Now coming on to the next part, before we go on to the evaluations of these table topics, I would like to bring Taye onto the stage to give us the timings of these table topics. Taye?
Thank you, Master Toastmaster. Amit went for 1 minute, 35 seconds. Cam, 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Seed, 1 minute, 12 seconds. Flora, 1 minute, 28 seconds. And Nish, 1 minute, 20 seconds. Thank you, Master Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Taye. And if we Suruj, I'm thinking we would be having poll for the table topics, is it? Yeah.
Okay, you got the result.
Perfect. So coming on to the evaluation of these table topics, I would like to welcome Tanuj onto the stage and give us the evaluation of all these table topics. Tanuj.
Thank you, Sumit, and thank you, Linda. I believe table topics is one of those things that if you make it accessible, you're really gonna get some really good answers. Sorry, I didn't want to say hilarious, but some really amazing answers, and which is what we did. The topics were so relatable to everybody. Everybody took a really good stab at it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call upon the things that obviously I experienced based on the table topics attempt that was done. And then call upon some of the top tricks that they used, just so that you know what are the things that you could incorporate in your next table topic attempt. So first up was Amit. So Amit was talking about this amazing dish called chole bhature, and you could literally see him salivating. Even my mouth was watering the way he was explaining or describing this dish. And I can assure you, you are in for a treat if you try it. Even if you try it out in the local Indian restaurants. He, much to the delight of our table topics master, she asked everybody to enumerate what are the key things you like about it. So Amit very clearly called out the merits as well as the demerits. The things that he could improve upon, I believe, I don't know if it was about the thought of chole bhature or what, but I would like him to make more eye contacts. And I know it's difficult in this virtual format, but try to see as much as possible towards the camera. The top trick that he used was he gave a conclusion. So I really liked how he put a wrapper to the whole thing and brought us back to the main topic. Cam, talking about her favorite walk. I really liked the childlike astonishment and the joy with which she described this park. It was almost like if somebody wants to, find an influencer or a brand ambassador, Cam can be it for that park. And I've been to that park, so I can, completely relate to what she has experienced and why she stands by whatever she said. I don't have any improvement to recommend, but I did really like how she ended with a question. It's like, over to you, the audience, and it makes you think that, okay, what would be my favorite park, or why should I go there? So no real improvements to call out. I think it was a really well attempted table topic. Next up was Sid, talking about the best gift that she got. Again, very personable. So she jumped right into it, speaking about the cookery course that she was gifted from her sister, I believe, and the fact that that particular activity, if I may call it, was an influx of, was at the nexus of two things she's passionate about. I mean, her family, it being a gift, and an area of her life that she's passionate about, following veganism. So she was very comfortable, and that comfort showed in her delivery of the speech. Again, she brought it back together with a great conclusion. I think the only thing I would recommend for her to elevate it to the next level would be to really maybe bring more energy into similar speeches she were to give it again, and say that, maybe bring some more emotions about this is how I felt after doing that course and so on. But it was a really good attempt, Sid, so congratulations. Next up was Flora, the movie that she really enjoyed. Flora did a very, very smart thing. She kind of built a barrier right into the delivery. So she took a stance. She said, I don't really watch movies. But what that helped her do was that it was like a boundary that she could riff off of. She was jumping in and out and build that perspective of why watching a series is more valuable or more enjoyable for her versus a movie. And that built her case around why she does not like movies. And I really enjoyed how she was able to play it off of that. She didn't really go off on just pitching for why series are better than movies. She was able to make the comparative picture. And again, she had a recall of the topic all over again. This is why I don't like movies. I would recommend Flora to think about, I mean, I know it's a table topic, so you don't have much time to think about, but maybe stick to 2 or 3 key ideas and do a more defined comparison if you could. But I know, our brains really melt out when table topics are thrown at us. So good attempt nonetheless. Book that you really enjoyed by Nish. I think everything that she said can be framed up and put on the wall the way she spoke about it. It was like a love song from a bibliophile. She spoke about all the different emotions and the joys that book reading brings out. And I think as a table topic delivery, it was completely unflawed. So there is really no recommendation to make. I think it would be helpful for her to, number one, take more time if possible, because she had more time available. I'm not saying she used less time, but she could go on and maybe build much more stronger conclusion. I felt that she had a good tempo going, and she kind of suddenly stopped there. But it, as I said, it felt like a love song from the file. So really, really good delivery, and I really enjoyed it. So that's my evaluation, and I think everybody stuck to the time. So superb attempt, and thank you again, Linda, for such a good table topics collection. Back to you, Sumit.
Thanks a lot, Tanuj. And what do you want to share about your passion project that you're working on right now?
Passion project I'm working on right now. So it's still kind of in the scaffolding and still under the wraps, but there was a epiphany I had sitting in one of those trainings a couple of years ago, and I felt that that particular activity would be something that I'd like to do full time, if money didn't matter and so on. And while we were locked up in the lockdown and so on, I thought, okay, you know what? Why don't we start that as a side hustle? And so I'm very, very passionate about that new business that I've launched. And many of you will be hearing about it in my future speeches, because I would be using this platform to make those pitches and perfect those pitches. But I think I generally, if I could maybe call upon, there is a general sense of solving puzzles in my mind, and that's what draws me towards the kind of work I do, or the kind of activities I take on. So so if there was to be one headline, I would say my passion is solving puzzles. So it can be any shape, form.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we have done with all the evaluations. So I would like to welcome Tayyib back again, and if you would like to say the timings for all the evaluations as well.
Thank you. For the evaluations, I hope I'm not muted. Okay, thank you. Evaluations, Flora, that's Flora, 3 minutes, 4 seconds. Nish, That's Nishta. 3 minutes, 17 seconds. Calm, 2 minutes, 59 seconds. And I don't know if I didn't know if I should time Tanush, but I did. 6 minutes, 45 seconds. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Taye. So now we are coming on to the last bits of this section, but we still have an important member who is going to ask some important questions and see if we were actually listening. So I would like to welcome, sorry, I think there is a votes for the evaluators, which is something that we need to do.
Okay, we have a result. Thank you.
Perfect. So coming on to the next part of the evening, or probably the last part of the evening, I would like to welcome Simon onto the stage and ask us those deep, thoughtful questions about this evening.
Hi. My first question is actually an observational question. We were not using traffic lights tonight, but Taye used a book for the amber traffic light. What was the name of that book? Nishta?
Fueled by Fiber.
Yes. How many people passed Sam's practical? Sumit?
None.
Correct. Michael Sandel was a book author mentioned by Aditi. What subjects did he teach? Tanuj?
Psychology?
No. Nish?
Officially, he's a public philosopher, but he talked about tyranny of merit, so meritocracy.
No. He taught law and philosophy. At work, Irina was often confused as belonging to one of two kinds of jobs. What were they? Cam?
Is admin and forgotten the second one.
Yes. Secretary.
Yeah.
Okay. Flora mentioned two words which translated means complete freedom to act. What two-word expression is this? Sumit?
Is it carte blanche?
Yes. Well done. Amit mentioned an Indian food. I think it's called chulab dure. What's one of the reasons why he cannot have it? Nish?
Because it's greasy and spicy and full of calories.
Yeah, too oily. Too oily. Cam mentioned a book in reference to Walpole Park and the book was by Jane Austen. What was the title? Aditi.
Pride and Prejudice.
Yes. And two more. Sid, How does she feel when she gets home from work? Cam?
Dead. Did she say dead?
Yes, and
Oh, yeah, dead just resonated with me. So I got
dead and gone.
Dead and gone, okay.
Yes. And Nish, when she has a favorite book, what two things does she consider make it a favorite book? Aditi.
If she remembers how it made her feel, or it makes her think or laugh.
Yes, yes. Mr. Toastmaster, that's the end of my examination.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Simon, for those insightful questions. And it also tells us if we are listening during the whole meeting or not. So if Tanuj, do you have any announcements to make for the day, or shall we give back people 5 minutes?
No, there are a couple of things to go through, Sumit. So first of all, thank you so much for the Toastmaster role that you played tonight. I think the theme that you chose was a fabulous one, and much like Linda's table topics, I think it was something that was relatable, so everybody could talk about their passions and ponder about it. I have two major things to call out. Number one is the voting results for tonight's speeches. So shall we do, maybe you all are welcome to unmute yourself and feel free to cheer or howl or hoot, whatever you like. So starting with the table topics, and sorry, just a second, for some bizarre reason my poll thing has disappeared. Yes. So whose table topic was the best received one? Of course, everybody did really well, but there was a tie because we are, in a very elite company today. So there were much more balanced results, and the winner for table topics tonight were Cam and Nish. Congratulations. On to the best evaluator. Now, obviously, all speeches were evaluated with a lot of great analysis, but this one particular evaluation stood out for all of you, and that person is Nish. Congratulations, Nish, for the evaluation you did for Aditi's speech. I think it was a very comprehensive one. And on to the best speaker for tonight. And can I just check if everybody, oh, Sam's not here. Okay, the best speaker for tonight is Samantha. She's not around, she had to depart early. So congratulations to her, and we'll of course let her know she did well. And that's the results for the votes. So I have just one quick appeal. As you know, the elections are going to be held on the next meeting. So that's the 14th. Sorry, I'm just checking my diary. Sorry, not 14th, the 12th of May. We would be sharing some information with you. As you can tell, this particular organization, I mean, I'm talking about Trojan Speakers specifically, it has a lot of things that happen in the backdrop, and it requires all of us to put in that effort. So we need people to run this ship, otherwise the meetings don't take the shape and that they do. I mean, Amit puts in a lot of effort in the backdrop. If it were to be physical meeting, you would see Simon stressing out about if we have kitchen supplies available, if we have all the equipment available or not. And likewise, there are a lot of other players who put everything together to make sure that all meetings are successful. And the next set of people who would be doing that needs to be selected. It can't be us again. That's the rule. So it has to be somebody who's not played that role before. So we'd invite you to think about which role excites you the most. Put your name through, and the present committee is committed to give you as much training, as much help needed to successfully execute that role. So I would be reaching out to you to understand which particular role you are interested in, and according to that, we would open up the nominations in the next meeting and carry out the formal election process. So please be there. We would want to have the quora, otherwise elections will be deferred to the next meeting. Let's try to do it on the 12th itself. So that's the next big project for our club, and I'm very excited about that. That's about it. It was a fabulous night. Thank you again, Sumit, for championing us tonight, and look forward to seeing you in a few days' time. Good night, everybody. Take care. Stay safe.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.